Midlothian is one of the smaller local authorities across Scotland. Within Midlothian we have 32 primary schools, 6 secondary schools and 1 special school. We are the fastest growing local authority, and that brings both opportunities but also challenges. We are committed to inclusion and making sure that we provide all of the support that we possibly can for every learner to achieve the best that they can be. It is a national directive in terms of making sure our learners are included, so that's our curriculum, the experiences, but also making sure that they have an equal opportunity to succeed and go on to a positive destination.
What we want to do is equip all our young learners and even adults with digital technology. And what we've done is we've actually equipped them by giving them all a Chromebook, or the younger ones an iPad, because we see that this is our investment in our school estate, that we will have learners who come out that will be able to meet the challenges of a new digital and technology age.
Texthelp came on the scene for us alongside the work we are doing as part of our Equipped for Learning project in Midlothian Council, and the impact has just been phenomenal. So in our mixed estate of devices between iPads, Chromebooks and HP laptops, I wanted a tool, a product that would jump across those different devices, that would be clear, easy to use, consistent, work really well with our Google Workspace tenancy, and Read&Write just ticks all of those boxes for us on every level.
Midlothian Council very much want to provide inclusive education for all of their students. With the Texthelp tools, the software is essential for some, but useful and beneficial for all students, allowing every student the opportunity to understand and be understood. And that was at the forefront of everything that Midlothian were wanting to achieve, and one of the most successful rollouts as a customer success team that we have seen across the entire council.
The approach that we took with schools was that it was going to be a universal design for learning approach. We didn't go in and position Read&Write as something that would help young people with barriers to literacy. That's not what we did. We went in and said, this is a toolbar, it's for everyone, it's on your device as a teacher, it's on all of your young people's devices. Here's a range of different ways in which you can use it.
As part of the Read&Write rollout, we had all staff training, and it was very positive. The staff were really engaged when they could see the full capacity of what the tools could do. The exact same for the pupils. There was a lot of wow moments when pupils were sitting there and they couldn't believe that they then could access the curriculum and tailor these tools to the way that they needed to use them.
When I first saw Read&Write as it is now, it was a bit like being a kid in a sweet shop, looking at all of these features and just thinking, wow, there are so many different facets to it, there's so many different features. It's that independence, it's that level of autonomy for the pupils, that they have control over their own learning, they have choice.
There's a number of kids with additional support needs who can use the tools invaluably to allow them to access things that prior to the use of Read&Write they couldn't. But as a whole, for pupils across the board, whether they've got an additional support need or not, there are a number of valuable tools in there to support with their learning, their study, their revision. Across the board, it's extremely useful.
Read&Write gives young people real accessibility to text, and particularly passages of text. Young people who perhaps were intimidated by that, it gives them a route and a set of tools in order to get in and engage with the learning and get the understanding from that text.
I was the first in the school to get Read&Write, and it actually helped a lot. It was really good. So there's an overlay that you can use, so I could get everything on my computer, and it was really good.
I would usually use the overlay in English if I was reading a text, because I can change it to blue, which is the colour that I can see with easiest. So I can read it a lot better and I can read it a lot faster, so I'm not falling behind everyone else.
I use the Read&Write toolbar to help my work. I can use the dictionary, which tells me the definitions, or sometimes if I'm working, I can put headphones in and listen to the text. For example, when I'm doing my persuasive essay in English, I was using Read&Write to highlight the main parts of the website so I can get my evidence.
Read&Write's now a tool that's used every single day by staff, by students. So staff do a number of things with regards to hidden differentiation and making sure that young people have the benefits of it without having the stigma attached to something that would not normally be there.
Read&Write helps you with your spelling and understanding stuff. If you don't understand a word, you can go into the dictionary.
It was around S3 that I came across Read&Write. A lady came into my class to speak to me about it and show how it worked. My favourite feature was definitely the overlay because it was sly and I didn't have to make it obvious that I needed it. I also liked the reading out feature because when there was big pieces of text, I didn't just have to sit and read them for ages and ages. I could just stick a headphone in and it would read it to me. I use the overlay on basically all my documents, all my slideshows. I use the reading out feature for big bits of text. I use the dictionary quite a lot. It's just right there, it's helpful. You don't have to put stuff into Google. You can just click it right there. I really like Read&Write because it's so discreet. None of my friends know I'm using it when I'm using it. They've all got their headphones in, listen to music, and I'm just listening to the task. Nobody knows, it doesn't have to be a big deal, and that's what I like best about it.
I was introduced to Read&Write when I was in first year at school, and I was excited because I like writing novels, so I was excited to write my novels through Read&Write. So before Read&Write, I would have someone type for me. So I would talk to someone and then they would type what I was saying. Having to rely on someone was annoying because I couldn't talk as fast as what, and it wasn't as independently as I would have liked it.
Read&Write has helped me write better and helped me read things that I probably wouldn't have been able to read before, and helped me write easier and quicker so I can do more things with it.
That's the bit that's really great, is that we see children going from not able to produce very much to seeing what they're actually capable of when they're given the tools that they actually need to help them achieve. It's a higher engagement, which is fantastic. As a teacher, seeing more work produced and children achieving much more and completing more of their work and really being able to reach their full potential, which is amazing.
As a class teacher, it's quite challenging to make sure that everybody's abilities are being met and then children are being challenged and supported. So I think Read&Write is really good for supporting children that need a little bit extra help with the spelling. They can use the function to hear and listen to the words. And then the children that are able to write independently can push themselves to go on a little bit more.
In terms of outcomes of Read&Write, we have seen increased confidence levels of the learners who use Read&Write, and that I see that through observations and also teacher feedback. In specific classes where it's well developed, we have seen that quality of writing has improved. I have some learners who were off track with their writing now moving on to being on track, which is a great thing to see.
It actually seems like it's just become part of their everyday use within the class. Even if they've had purposeful plays, some of them will go on and write stories using Read&Write. And I have a couple of children in the class that were reluctant writers at the beginning, but absolutely love writing stories because they can access writing through using Read&Write.
I like Read&Write because then for the dictionary it would tell you all about, and then the prediction would try and guess the word.
I think Read&Write is fun. And when you click on it, it shows up lots of things, and there's also a thing what's highlighters, and you highlight the information you need.
It means I can work more on my own, because usually I'll have a teaching assistant sitting next to me, because I'm #dyslexic. But now I don't need a teaching assistant sitting next to me near all my classes, because a lot of classes use Chromebooks where we can have the Read&Write software on it, which helps.
The benefit of using Read&Write at such a young age and introducing it in primary 1 is that the children are going to be so familiar and confident navigating their way through it and working it all the way through primary school, and then it'll follow them into secondary school as well. So it's just going to always be a tool for them to rely upon and help them with their learning.
The impact of Read and Write in our classrooms and in our schools has been phenomenal. We have seen young people flourish. We have seen teachers' confidence increase. We have seen a decrease in the number of referrals into the digital inclusion and learning team for requests for assistive technology. That decrease is around 90% because Read and Write is meeting that need now. And because it's for everyone, it's okay for it to be for anyone.
Personally, Read and Write makes me feel delighted. Part of me wishes I had that when I was a teacher because it's such an amazing resource, but I'm now delighted that other teachers are adopting this and we're seeing real positive impact upon our learners.
Being able to show these pupils what this wonderful tool can do for them, it does make you feel good about the job that you do. It makes you feel like you can give them almost like a gift that they can take forward into further or higher education or something they could use as a life skill later on in life. So it does make you feel, you know, that you're giving them something that's very beneficial, it's very special.
I'm going into classrooms and I can see where the benefit is. I can see kids you're getting that light bulb moment where they understand what's happening in front of them more than they did before.
There's a real buzz about the high school and about the opportunities that Read and Write give us. The ability for young people to work independently has really boosted confidence, and the fact that it's been rolled out across the whole school has really reduced the stigma that's involved, that it's not just for young people with an ESM.
As a scale project, the rollout of Read and Write across Midlothian Council has been superb. Huge uptake, increasing usage on a daily basis, and those real heights being constantly maintained across all primary and secondary schools.
Texthelp are a brilliant company to work with. They really are, and I'm often asked why Texthelp, and my answer to that is usually why not Texthelp? Texthelp, much like Midlothian, aren't afraid to dream big, and that's what we want. We want to work with partners that aren't afraid to dream big. Read and Write is a strong product, but there's a strong team behind that product. They support us to make best use of the product, they listen to our crazy ideas, and they're not afraid to come along for the ride, and that's who we want to work with.
It makes me feel like ecstatic. It just means that we're doing what we set out to do. It's our why. We want to remove barriers to learning and have every child succeed.